Yo, what's up guys? Today we're gonna dive into some of the 10.2 changes to Warrior on the PTR. I've been asked a lot lately on my stream, like, yo, Juventus, what do you think about the 10.2 changes on Warrior? Do you think it will be good? What will you be playing? Are you gonna change your spec? What are you gonna do? So, I thought, what better way to answer all of your guys' questions than to just make a video about it, share my thoughts, explain a little bit of what I've learned so far on the PTR, and yeah, let's dive right into it. So first of all, we have the tier set itself, right? So for the 2 set, we have Odin's Fury dealing 50% increased damage and causing our next 3 Bloodthirst to deal 150% additional damage and have 100% increased critical strike chance against its primary target. Honestly, not that bad. Odin's Fury, I kinda liked it, Season 1, some 5s. Bloodthirst, not the biggest fan. It's okay, it gives us some funnel. But I don't really like to be forced into specific builds. Alright, so for the 4 set, we have that Bloodthirst critical strikes reduce the cooldown of Odin's Fury by 2.5 seconds. Now this is kind of interesting, because when we take a look at the cooldown of Odin's Fury, it's 45 seconds. We already get 3 guaranteed crits, meaning our cooldown will be 37.5. Not that bad, because Odin's Fury, uncapped AoE. The Bloodthirst part, not that big of a fan, but it works. But wait a second. If we have to play around Odin's Fury and Bloodthirst, that means that we have to change our build. And whenever we take a look into the build, it has actually changed drastically. It is nothing alike of what we played before. So if we take a look into the left side of the tree, we've made some noticeable changes already, right? We went into Titan's Torment. The reason why we did this is because it procs Odin's Fury whenever we use Avatar, interacts with our tier set. Looks good. We've had to take Crushing Force, 2 points, to buff up our Slam, which I will come to a little bit later. And we've removed Uproar. Alright, so now you're probably wondering, like, why did I make all these changes? And all of those will be answered in the right side of the tree. So when we first look at the right side of the tree, the noticeable change is that we got rid of all of our Raging Blow talents. We don't need those anymore because we're going to be playing with Annihilator. Annihilator replaces Raging Blow, so we don't have to press it anymore. So it doesn't make any sense for us to buff it up. We don't have Onslaught anymore. We don't have Ravager anymore. Personally, I like both of these, so I'm kind of disappointed that we don't have them anymore. And we're playing Reckless Abandon. The reason why we play Reckless Abandon is because our Bloodthirst is going to become a Bloodbath. And Bloodbath does more damage than Bloodthirst, which interacts once again with our tier set, giving us more damage. We have Odin's Fury, which seems pretty reasonable since our entire tier set is revolved around Odin's Fury. And we play with Annihilator. On the left side over here, all of our Raging Blow talents we've put into enhancing our Bloodthirst and Bloodbath. And we've taken Fresh Meat over improved Bloodthirst. The reason why we did this is because we don't have any easy way to get enraged anymore. Since that we've gotten rid of Onslaught, this is our best shot of getting an early enrage. So what does that mean for our opener? Normally, we would just throw a Ravager, charge in, nuke all our cooldowns, nuke rampages, and spam Raging Blows when you don't have Rampage up. That's gonna change a little bit. The first part is relatively similar. We're gonna charge into the pack. We're gonna use our Bloodthirst to get enraged instead of using Onslaught, and we're still gonna nuke all our cooldowns. However, we're gonna save our Odin's Fury till we've done 3 Bloodbaths. The reason why is we don't want to overlap the tier set proc with our new tier set proc from the actual Odin's Fury. So, our main objective is to get into Bloodbath real soon. How do we get into Bloodbath? By using Rampage. So we charge in, we use a Bloodthirst to get enraged, use a Whirlwind to get our Whirlwind stacks, use our nuke macro, into a Rampage, into Bloodbath spam. But now it's gonna get a little bit funky, because normally we've just been spamming Rampage and Raging Blow on repeat. However, since they've made some changes to the way that Bloodbath works, our internal GCD on Bloodbath is now 2 seconds, which means we're gonna have to weave in another global in order for us to press Bloodbath again. We've come around this with using either Slam, either using Whirlwind, or while we're in our burst window, we can use Rampages to fill up the void. Whenever we get out of our burst window, that's where it starts to get awkward, because When we have our Recklessness and Avatar up, we are swimming in rage, and we have no issues at all. But as soon as we come out of those, we're starting to get a little bit rage deprived. So in order to come around this, we have to weave in slams. But the cooldown of slam is 9 seconds. It gets reduced a little bit, so it's gonna be a bit shorter, but we will run out of GCDs. That means that whenever you're in a pack, you will actually have little windows of about a second where you have nothing to press. It's gonna feel very awkward. It's not gonna be very smooth to play, but it is a necessary evil that we have to deal with. So let's get into how the rotation actually looks like. So for AoE, we're gonna charge in and start with a Bloodthirst into a Whirlwind, and then use Rampage into Bloodbath, into another Rampage and Bloodbath, followed by a Whirlwind into another Odin's Fury. And we keep repeating this process for our entire burst pretty much. Keep rotating between Rampage and Bloodbath. The reason why we do this is simply because we're overstacked on Rage. Alright, so now that we've looked a little bit at how the rotation looks like, we're very front-loaded. That means that all of our damage comes out pretty soon after we enter combat. And it significantly drops after we come out of our Recklessness and Avatar window. The reason why this happens is because we are getting rage deprived. We don't have enough rage generation anymore for us to use Rampage and Bloodbath on repeat. So we're gonna need to weave in those slams, maybe an extra Whirlwind, and sometimes we just have a second of complete downtime. It's gonna feel very awkward, it's not very smooth. I personally don't really enjoy it and think that it stands contradictional on what Fury Warrior normally is, which is a very spammy class. However, the upside about this is that our single target and AoE rotation is practically the same. The only thing is that we don't need to worry about our Whirlwind stacks anymore, so we can use Whirlwind as a filler for when we don't have Slam up. They look very similar, they are very front loaded on both ends, and we drop off quite significantly till our next burst window. Alright, so now that we've taken a quick look at how the AoE rotation and the single target rotation plays, let's recap a little bit, right? We've gone over what the tier set does, we've gone over the talents for it, and personally, I don't really like it. I think we're getting forced into a build that in Season 1 has proven to be far less enjoyable to play, and where the community gave a lot of backlash on. Then they decided to swap that around for Season 2 and actually gave us something that we all enjoyed to play. And it seems that we're going back to that Season 1 mentality right now, where we're getting something that we're not really enjoying. We don't really like to play it, it doesn't feel smooth and interactive. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we still have a Legendary to come out. They don't want to overtune the classes that are able to wear the Legendary, in case they might become overpowered. So I do think that we're gonna see quite some changes still to come for Fury Warrior, especially whenever the Legendary comes out, but it's all a bit wonky right now. If I had to put us into any specific category right now, I'd say that we're a bit in the middle of the pack, maybe a little bit below. It doesn't necessarily look too optimistic, but I do think there is potential as soon as they rework the way that the tier set works or give us some more damage outside of our burst windows. Alright, now that we've gone over pretty much all the changes that are coming to Warrior in 10.2, I'm very curious to hear what you guys think, so make sure to leave a comment down below with your thoughts. Are you gonna play Fury next season? What do you think needs to be changed, or do you like the playstyle as it is? Make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, helps us out a lot, and well, let's see you guys in the next one.